What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Football Chatbox. My name is Ryan, and welcome to the Game Week 37 podcast. I'm joined by FPL Mez Meera. Before I get to Meera, there's a comment in from Gary. He says, 2 more weeks, then rest. Yes, indeed.
Yes,
2 more weeks and rest. How are you doing, Meera?
I'm doing really well. Thank you, Ryan. Thanks for having me on your channel again, and a massive congratulations to you as well for hitting 1,000 subscribers. So, those of you that are tuning in, please do hit like and subscribe to Ryan's channel. I'll do that plug in straight away.
Thank you.
But I completely relate to Gary's sentiments there. With 2 weeks to go, I'm ready for the end of the season now.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, it's been a long season, and I should say you've been having an amazing season overall. I would package it as an overall.
Yes.
Recently, I don't know, like you have seen some rants and a few a swear jar on the side with some.
Oh my God, I should put a swear jar here. In fact, it's been a really great season. I think you're absolutely right. If I look at it overall, I can't really complain. It's been a great season. I've probably been yo-yoing for a very long time in like the top sort of 10k and then 20k and then back to like top 5k a few times as well. And now I'm like just my rank is just plummeting in the wrong direction. But it's not all lost. There's still 2 weeks to go, and I think a lot can happen in that time. And I think there's lots we can do. So I'm definitely on the side of glass half full, and a bit more optimistic than what I probably project on the socials. But yeah, it wasn't a great game week for me.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, there's still 2 more game weeks to turn it around as well. To be honest, to get that top 10k, I would say.
Yeah.
Well, we'll discuss obviously when we get to the fixtures as well in terms of what you can do to try and get there as well. But overall, for me personally, I'm looking forward to the rest. And a crap season. But the last couple game weeks has actually been pretty good. So from like Game Week 31's wildcard from like 1.4 something million to now, I think just outside the top 5, like just like outside like 501 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So 511, which means I've halved my rank at least.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, but it's still my main aim at this season is to try and avoid relegation from the Australian elite.
Oh, don't. You know what? We've got opposite ends of the thing going on there with the Australian elite, and obviously it's a very competitive league,
Yes.
and I've been on the top of that league from the first sort of 5 game weeks or something like that. And then the reigning champion, so shout out to Chris Baker, who, the reigning champion just in the past 2 game weeks has just overtaken me, and he's about five points ahead of me at the moment. So it's going to be really competitive as we go to the final 2 game weeks. And he's a local, he's local to me as well, to us over here in Sydney, based in Canberra. So yeah, it's pretty competitive.
Indeed. So we'll obviously discuss in terms of like what moves and punts you can take. Maybe not too many punts, but what you can take to try and claw back not only 5 points, but even like the top 10k bracket as well.
Absolutely.
And what I can do to try and survive in the Aus elite. But having said that, fixtures. Now, Game Week 37, we don't have Rob T graphics because it's a bit too early for that. But we'll talk about the Game Week 37 fixtures. I've got the results as well if we need to like glance over it. But we'll go fixture by fixture, see what we can learn from the upcoming set. And obviously Europa League final is next week. FA Cup final is on the weekend, so there are a few teams that will be focusing on that. So we'll start obviously with some of the Europa League teams and also Champions League chasing teams. So start off with Aston Villa versus Spurs. Did you watch the Spurs game any chance?
I did. I didn't watch. So I caught the highlights. I'll be honest. Like, I've not been watching much football this season at all. Just full disclosure to everyone that's tuning in. I've just not been able to watch as much, unfortunately. But I have been catching the highlights. And at the moment, it almost seems like mission target Spurs. So yeah, they're just. I mean, the squad's rotating. Ange is, I don't know if he's going to survive the season. No idea, but I currently don't have any Villa players, so I'm definitely sort of eyeing up Villa players and focusing on a bit of a attack that Spurs side. Obviously, they've got Europe as you mentioned, so. Yeah, it's not looking good for them. I mean, they're sitting bottom, and I'm sorry to say, along with United at the moment, sitting bottom of the safe from relegation part of the table. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be targeting Spurs in this fixture. Yeah.
Yeah, I
What did
mean,
you think of that match, by the way?
I
Like,
watched the game
yeah.
because I couldn't be bothered watching United play West Ham because I wasn't expecting much. And because the talk of the town this week would be about Aston Villa and us trying to
Mm.
bring in Villa players. And oh my days, the amount of times Sa and Munoz just ran riot on that
Oh,
right hand side. I was like, how are these guys not hauling? And like Mateta came off before 60. I was fuming for that because like he's just been such a bad pick. But even he had a few good chances to try and
mm.
score. And then I went onto SofaScore and looked at who plays Aston Villa's right hand side. And certain Morgan Rogers obviously
I
stands out.
know. And you know what? I went Asensio quite a few game weeks ago. I think it was on my wildcard 31 or 32. I can't remember when I played it. And there's been a couple of fixtures. There's been a couple of players that there's been like 50-50 sort of chances, right? And I've gone the wrong way on some of those selections. So even like going Sarr over Eze
Oh,
has
same.
been a pain,
Yeah.
on my wild
Yeah.
card. And it's the same with Asensio over Rogers. There's been a few others like that as well, probably further back now, but more recently, these players, honestly, they've been very frustrating. But you're right, Morgan Rogers is probably going to be very, very highly owned as well. I imagine would be hitting the sort of 50-60% sort of.
Ooh, probably even higher than that. So in my rank, he was at, I'm checking right now.
Yeah, I was going to check.
He was at about, he was 37.8. And I would assume that was because of a lot of benching more than anything.
Mm, mm.
Top 10K around the 36, 37 as well. Although, I don't know if I have a picture of like game week 36 in terms of a screenshot, because that would tell me what last week's, because there would have been a lot of people who would have benched Morgan Rogers this week.
Yeah, yeah.
Instead, I do think he'll hit like about 80 maybe, if anything.
Yeah, so he's about 40 around me.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
And
So game week 35, 65%.
yeah, wow. Yeah.
Um, the green is top 10K, right? Yeah. In
Yes.
live FPL. Okay, that was
Yeah.
44.
Yeah.
Overall,
Yeah.
around my rank was 65. So I'd assume a lot more people would play him this week against Spurs as well.
I reckon so. And for me, it's sitting. Yeah, I'm currently just inside top 15K. So yeah, I've got him out 40% at the moment, but I reckon that will go up. So I reckon there'll be lots of players, managers that may go even Sarr, to Rogers, Murphy to Rogers, something like that. Like there's a lot of managers who've got players like Murphy still and players like Sarr still. So cheaper sort of players where they may not have enough funds either, because I think the majority of the formation it's currently looking like 3-4-3, and some of the premium, well, I wouldn't say premium, but over almost 7 million players in that forward lineup as well. So a lot of managers have gone. They've probably got Marmoush still, Wood still, or haven't got Marmoush anymore, got Wood, got Cunha, could have, probably likely got Isak, still got Mateta. So yeah, depending on funds available, yeah, you're either taking your cheap enabler at the moment and bringing in Rogers. But I feel like for me personally, for my team, it's probably going to be a very defensive pick if I go for Rogers. I just don't see getting any gains out of it, unfortunately. And my team is looking really template at the moment, and there's 2 game weeks to go, so I want to maybe change it up a little bit.
Fair enough. The other pick that will be a main transfer target this week over even Morgan Rogers would be Ollie Watkins.
Yeah.
Now I just realized after I made my deadline transfers in 36, I was like, because I went and my initial moves were to sell Mateta for Visa and sell Marcus Rashford for Elanga. And obviously with the Marmoush leak and everything, I ended up switching it where I sold Marmoush and got in Visa. And I went and got KDB because I was like, looking at Southampton with no City attack feels a
Oh
bit
my
too
God.
frightening.
Don't.
Yeah,
You're hitting the trigger spots
I
now,
know,
like for me.
and then I realized, oh, that took out all my budget. Now I can't sell Mateta to Watkins, so now I need to sell Isak to go to Watkins.
Yeah.
So that's probably what I'm going to end up doing, selling Isak to go to Watkins. Even though Arsenal at this moment, I think Newcastle can score,
Mm.
and but I still kind of have to play the fixtures, right? It's still way more
That's
tempting.
it. That's it. Yeah, I feel like I had to, just start of, or end of this, game week 36. I had to just look at where I'm at across the board, and so only 4 game weeks ago I was sitting in top 5k, and now I'm 15k. Now, whilst that's not too terrible when you look at it sort of relatively as a season, I'm in a really good spot. But I'd love to aim for top 10k and even push a little bit more if I could. But it's going to be really challenging unless you make some big moves, right? And so this is where, like, again, from a gains point of view, Isak is very, very highly owned. I think, around me, Isak, or I'm sure across the board as it is, but Isak is
85.
85%. Yeah. So you're not gaining anything. It's just defensive, right? And when I look at how many players I have that are over 80% owned, I've got Guardiola over 80%. I've got Salah, of course. I've got Isak at the moment. And close to sort of the 60%. You got your KDBs and Wissers. They're really highly owned. It's the same with Mbumo. He's going to be really highly owned, like with the last 2 fixtures as well. So yeah, I just don't feel like I'm going to make gains unless I go and take out a highly owned player like Isak and just go for a Watkins maybe as well.
Yeah, and Watkins will be way lower owned compared to Morgan Rogers, but when captaincies adds up and all of that, then obviously it might equal. And now obviously captaincy is also another consideration. I don't know if Gandhi strikes on Friday nights, but we'll have to see about that. But like Watkins is definitely up there for the armband. Aston Villa, on the other hand, defensively have also been doing really well.
Yeah,
That
annoyingly.
that I'm just glad because I had Martinez,
Yeah.
and I was forced to go and get Martinez because Ederson went and got injured.
Yeah.
So that kind of forced my hand to try and go and get Martinez, which just paid off to be honest. And he's been getting points while I keep benching Arsenal defense, so I'm kind of happy in one way. But yeah, attacking wise is where the points are going to be because I think Spurs will rotate even more for this game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And this is where I'm eyeing up. So I took a hit in game week 36, and it's not gone well. I took out Saka, brought in KDB, had major FOMO. I think we got the Marmoush, not starting leak, and I was around for the leak for a change. And immediately I was like, oh, I don't want to, hold on to him. Let me just take him out. It will enable an extra transfer, but it'll be a hit. It's not ideal. So I brought in Cunha, and obviously Cunha ended up on 0 points. He's been on form, and I'm just honestly, like, I'm so gutted that didn't work out. I didn't need to make that move. I probably could have left it and just played Murphy, who got an assist. And so I probably would have got Murphy's 5 points, wouldn't have taken a hit, and then would have gone Saka to KDB, which wouldn't have been much anyway. There was only like a point in it. So I could have just left it, right? But again, I'm sort of thinking, we've got 3 game weeks left at the time, and now we've got 2 game weeks left. So it's not going to stop me, despite sort of where I am, it's not going to stop me from making some crazy calls. And you're right. Like, I think if we ignore the fact that it's the first fixture of the game week, I would be very tempted to just make some gains or just make up some of those points that I've dropped in my mini league as well. I'd be tempted to go captaincy on Watkins. I just don't see Spurs keeping out, like, there'll be goals in that fixture.
Yep, fair enough. I mean, let's touch on the captaincy as well, because before I was thinking, like, without if I don't take Watkins into account, there aren't that many captaincy options this week.
No,
Like,
No, and it depends on your risk appetite, right? Like, so obviously Salah is almost 100% owned or something. I reckon there'll be a lot of managers, a lot of, like disengaged managers who probably still have their captaincy on Salah. So I reckon that will be, up there against a leaky Brighton. But you're right, there's not that many options. I mean, you might want to go Brian and Mbumo maybe against against Fulham, who just drops, 3 goals to Everton.
to Everton, yeah. That was a bit of poor keeping from Leno, but yeah, they did.
Yeah, and Everton doesn't even have that, good attack anyway. So that just goes to show that there's going to be goals in that match as well. And, I've got Wissa in my team who didn't do very well in game week 36, but could do really good, against that Fulham fixture. So yeah, but that's an option there. I'm just looking at the other teams, and yeah, you might want to go KDB or Haaland. There's a lot of managers
But
there who went Haaland, right?
The only thing that worries me with that is it's post FA Cup.
Yes.
We won't know what happens in the FA Cup, injury, whatever happens. I can't risk putting the armband on a player who has a game before, and if anything happens, then you're kind of screwed.
Well, this is it. So I think it's just pure guesswork at the moment, isn't it? Whether KDB starts the FA Cup, match. I mean, it's a final, and so it is the last final that KDB is going to play with a City shirt on, right? So yeah, there is a chance that I reckon he'll probably come off the bench though, and I think he's going to get the league games, and it's a home game as well. So I can't imagine KDB not starting in that fixture against Bournemouth. But you're right, it's just guesswork at the moment.
It's his last City home game as well.
Yeah. So that's why I can't imagine him not starting it.
Yeah, so I mean, we're writing narratives, but let's hope it works. But like, yeah,
at this stage of the season,
exactly. But initially, my bus captain, even now, was on Salah because I just couldn't find another captain that I kind of liked, to be honest. Unless I wanted to go and target like Southampton again, but with Everton. But we'll get to that fixture later. So I guess Watkins. That's kind of why we see the reason for like a lot of managers going there. Try and buy him.
What about Palmer though?
This is okay. Let's go. Chelsea United.
Yeah.
United will rotate most definitely. If anything, they play the kids. If anything, I'll say. But the same thing is, Chelsea also do have a European Cup final to focus on, which I for one have no clue when that Cup final is. Conference League. It's the Conference League final. I'm just here now quickly searching. This is 29th of May. Oh, okay.
That's still a while to go.
Still a while to go. Okay, so they don't have to worry about any cup final then.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So I take that back. So Chelsea will need to definitely go pretty strong then in that case. Because they are chasing...
They need to win.
Yeah, Champions League. This should be... I mean, for both Villa and Chelsea, this should be a pretty straightforward result. The only thing is, Chelsea had this history of, for some reason against United, it just ends up with like draws. I have no idea why, but even when we're pretty shit, it still ends up with draws. I don't know why. But
yeah, I have noticed that. I think I can't remember when it was now, whether it was I think it would have been last season. I remember captaining Palmer and it not working out. I can't remember if you blanked in that one or not. Yeah, I don't remember it very well, but yeah, I remember there being lots of draws between. Yeah, I guess we just have that. There's just some teams that just complete draws. I mean, take the Liverpool Arsenal match. I was fully expecting a draw in that match as well. I mean, the reverse fixture was a draw as well. So I imagine it's probably going to be the same for Chelsea United. Just imagine a 0-0 or a 1-1 or something like that.
Probably, if anything, 1-0 to a Chelsea or something, or 2-1, because at times they don't keep clean sheets. But I don't know if I would be going and getting Palmer in there. That's the only thing.
No, I don't know. Like it depends. Like it depends on the placeholder spot that you've got, right? So I've got Salah, I've got KDB at the moment. Saka became KDB, so I had a placeholder for that 9-point or 10-point mil player. And I imagine if you've got Saka and you're not sure about holding till, game week 38, I think a lot of managers would be holding till game week 38. I was going to be one of them. If you haven't gone KDB yet, then I imagine that it wouldn't be such a bad shout to go Saka to Palmer. Whilst you really wouldn't do it, I think if you're an engaged manager, you might not want to do it. But I think if you're an analytics manager, I'm pretty sure Palmer's really high,
probably.
for a captaincy.
FPL review
Yeah,
just like, oh, he's the top captaincy option. Yes.
that's right.
Yep.
That's right.
I still don't know if I would do it around, because like, yes, Palmer scored a goal last week, but overall Palmer's form in like to 2025 has just been horrible.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I would go there. With 2 free transfers you have left in the season.
Yeah, I wouldn't personally. Yeah, I've got KDB, and I reckon, like I say, KDB will start that fixture against Bournemouth. So whilst I won't be captaining, going to Palmer is just not an option. There's just too much money spread around at the moment as well.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I don't even. Pedro Neto maybe as a wild punt, as a cheaper option if anyone's looking, like Ismail Saad or someone else as a differential.
Who's going to play up front, like with Jackson?
That's the thing, with Jackson out. This is why I was like Pedro Neto maybe, like if he plays like false nine or something like that. But even then, when Palmer hasn't had Jackson in the past, he hasn't performed as well because there's no one to like stretch the line as well.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. I feel like there are maybe better transfers elsewhere potentially in this.
Yeah, I think if you look at as you mentioned, the historical sort of, head-to-head between Chelsea and United, I wouldn't really want to go there. I think Villa versus Spurs probably got the more goals, between the two teams that are sitting at the bottom of the non-relegated part of the table.
Thank God we have 3 worst teams in the league.
Yeah.
Haven't even hit 40 points this season.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Oh, such is life. But yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
In terms of Man United, if you have any assets, sell. That's it. That's all I can say. Because they play Aston Villa next as well. This is why you want to go and get Aston Villa players. Because
I know. This is what I mean.
Yeah.
It's tempting.
Okay, so that's... I'm not going to touch...
Actually, that's a really good point. That's a really good point, just to touch on that. Like, if you're bringing in Villa players, they are playing United just before
after the Europa League final.
They're playing after the final. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think that is also a really good fixture. Yeah.
So definitely Aston Villa players. Definitely where the transfers should be used. All right. Now Everton versus Southampton. Yes, Southampton managed to get their 3rd clean sheet this season. I don't know.
Believe that.
City should just relegate themselves just for drawing against Southampton.
That was such a shit. Sorry, that was such a crap game. Yeah. It was such. I was watching a little bit of it before I went to bed. It was on really late as well, right? So I was like, yeah, I'll just watch a bit. But I was falling asleep. I was tired anyway. It was middle of the night, but it was a boring match.
Yeah. I was like, why did I waste a transfer and a hit to bring a KDB for this? But yeah, here we are. Although Everton final game at Goodison Park.
Yeah.
A Beto. I'm not against a Beto punt. If anyone's looking for a Beto punt,
don't mind it.
Yeah, 4.8 million. Cheap enabler as well. If you're looking for this very expensive Watkins and KDB and Saka moves in the upcoming weeks. Rather take him over Mateta as well at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we're talking punts, then I know like it's a fixture we're going to talk about a little bit, further down, but I probably want to go Vardy.
Ooh, final home game for Leicester as well. See, all of these narratives that we're writing.
You have to, especially it depends where you are, right? From a rank point of view, it depends where you are and what you're playing for at this stage. And I think, do you remember, like we talked about this last season? I think when we were talking about mini leagues or the season before. Yeah, and you got to build your narrative, right? So a lot of managers play FPL for the ranks, the overall ranks only, and a lot of managers I know a lot of my mini league managers, my family mini league especially, they're not playing for the rank; they're playing for the mini league, right? So, so it depends what you're playing for.
It's the cash involved with some cash mini leagues.
Exactly, exactly. And this is where you're eyeing up every single player that your mini league rival has got as well.
Yes, this is so I'm playing for survival in the Aussie Elite. And for me at this point, I'm looking at head to head as well because I'm still in that head to head cup. So like part of me was thinking of a -4 of getting rid of Mateta to Beto and playing Beto.
Yeah.
But I was like, -4, then it's maybe too much because Beto will have to like at least score 2 goals to maybe justify. But maybe even 1 goal if he scores, he probably gets like 3 bonus and whatnot. So yes, but even then I'm like, probably not worth it. If I had 2 free transfers though, I would have definitely done it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I took my 3rd hit of the season last game week, and it felt yucky. It felt really yucky. It was only a 3rd hit, right? I should have probably taken more. You know, there were other opportunities to take some calculated risks, and I didn't take them. I was playing it a little bit safe and, you know, a little bit defensively. But I think we're at that point of the season where there will be hits flying around now, and it's going to be really tricky because there's a couple of, you know, obviously there's quite a few teams that have something to play for. Like we talked about Chelsea needing to win the next 2 fixtures, you know, to qualify for Champions League, or at least sort of, you know, have a strong contention for Champions League. But yeah, there's so many European spots to play for, and so yeah, I just imagine that there'll be hits flying around, not because, you know, there are teams on the beach, but there's quite a few teams that are competing for European, you know, football. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I'm definitely up for taking some hits as well.
Fair enough. Okay, so we'll see, because one thing to obviously add is hits usually when there are less and less game weeks to play for, the chances of them paying off are way more slimmer. So you want to target these high potential hits.
Yes.
To be honest, at this point.
Yeah.
It's like you're just playing roulette, just like hoping that you hit. But like so that's one fixture. Now obviously Southampton got a draw against City, but then they were focusing on trying to outscore Derby's lowest ever points total. So now that they've achieved that, you can hope that they go back to being pretty bad. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's Everton. Everton defense, I don't know if I would look at. Would you?
I don't mind it. I mean, again, you know, I feel like I wouldn't be at this stage unless your defense is really bad. I wouldn't really make defensive play.
Anyone on a free hit, maybe?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I imagine there'll be managers on that still have their free hit. Not sure. I mean, Mikolenko, like obviously he's been decent. Like he's not a bad defender. He's not a bad player. Known to get some good returns, right? So yeah, I don't mind it, but it just depends like what you have. So if you've got 1 free transfer, I imagine there's probably other picks that you want to go for, like rather than the defensive one against Southampton, but potential clean sheet, right? Like it's possible. But I don't know. I think Southampton also have it in them to just nick a goal as well. They looked really good against City. I know it's a away fixture for them at Goodison Park, but they still look decent.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, we'll move on. West Ham versus Forest. Forest obviously, I think, running low on energy. West Ham, for some reason, have managed to turn Wan-Bissaka into an amazing fullback.
I know.
From nowhere. Bowen just keeps returning for all those Bowen owners, which I find annoying because I don't have him, but I still like him as an FPL pick because he's just generally reliable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this one is more of I think assistant manager. If anyone's looking for an assistant manager pick, I won't be against anyone to swap into Potter as well.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Yeah, I don't mind it. I think there's a real opportunity here. Forest, look, I have double Forest defense, and I'm going to start a very quick mini rant about that. I brought in double Forest defense on my wild card, and I bench boosted in game week 33. It was a really good, I mean, they were keeping clean sheet right up until the 94th minute and lost their clean sheet. I was in fact, earlier I was chatting to FPL Impulses in the chat about it as well. I feel fully scarred, from that experience. And then they go and drop, 2 goals again against what should have been a win, against Leicester. So I'm really gutted. And that too, I got jammy points because I had Murillo, not Nico Williams or Milenkovic or anything like that, but I had Sells and Murillo, and obviously Murillo was out with an injury, so I got jammy Livramento points from the bench. But that was supposed to be 2 clean sheets there, like those those 2 fixtures, and Forest have had a really good defense for so long in the season, and then in the last, I don't know, maybe 10 game weeks, or not 10 game weeks, maybe about 5 to 8 game weeks or so, they've been awful. And so I really think that game is not going to be. I think West Ham could win.
Yeah, which is why I think like anyone with the assistant managership still available.
Yeah, 1-0.
I might chance that potential for table bonus. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think so. I'd even be tempted to play Areola. Like, it depends like who you've got, but if you have Areola, that would be very tempting as well, just because save points.
Yep, indeed. Fair enough. Yeah, I'd definitely consider that. Even over Rare, honestly.
Yeah.
To be honest. Yep. Forest, on the other hand, anyone who went like Chris Wood obviously got some returns from this
so
week.
good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Elanga also, wish I went there, got an assist.
I was tempted to go there. I was so I was thinking Jacob Murphy out for Elanga, but I got priced out. So I was like 0.1 mil out from making that move. And that would have just been my free transfer, and not would have, I wouldn't have gone there with KDB either, but it's fine,
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
But yeah, Forest obviously they need to win this, because at this moment their chances of Champions League falling slimmer and slimmer, and even the chances of Europa League also might be pretty low, because if Crystal Palace manage to beat City in the cup, then Crystal Palace will take the Europa League spot.
Yeah,
and then that will go City. Forest, if they finish 7th, might end up in like Conference League or something.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, did you see? I mean, I know, like the owner.
Yes.
I was watching the highlights, and then kind of, went on to the interviews, and just kind of saw a few of the clips on YouTube as well. But he looked pissed.
Yeah.
He looked really angry, right? And I don't know, like I don't think Nuno deserves that. He's had a really good season this season, but just very disappointing to see. So I think that there's a lot riding on that fixture against West Ham. But if you have Bowen, you're lucky bugger.
Yep, indeed, fair enough.
I can't go there.
Yeah. Yeah, same. It's just a hit, and I'm like, yeah, no, probably not. Now, Brentford versus Fulham. Kevin Schade. Points galore. I should say, Freddie did tell me to go and get him in this week, and I didn't think about it. And there was another comment was asking in the deadline stream, like, should we triple captain Kevin Schade? I was like,
no, but
and he goes and gets 11 points. I mean, but he's been doing well, like Eze, in the last couple of weeks. Points are coming for anyone who does have him. Mbuemo, I feel really frustrated as someone who captained him, because he could have had a penalty. Maybe should have had 2.
Yeah.
And I was, again, talking about mini leagues. Like, everyone who's above me, who's trying to also like fight for avoiding relegation, none of them captained Mbuemo.
Yeah.
And I was like,
gosh,
frustration.
Yeah.
Just because the VAR referee decided to bottle the decision of not calling a penalty.
Yeah. So it really frustrates me, because look, I captain Mbumo, and I was just trying to remember like what my mini league rival. So both, I think, captain Mbumo as well. But they didn't have a lot of the players that I more recently brought in. So they didn't have KDB, they didn't have Cunha, they didn't have Wissa, and all 3 of them just decided, you know what, we're just gonna blank this game week. Sod it.
When it's not your day, it's not your day.
No, exactly. But you know what? I don't regret having them in the team.
Yes,
so, yeah. But Brian and Bumo, it's a tough one because like we touched on captaincy earlier as well. I think he's a really good captaincy shout this game week as well. But I'm not sure. It's a strange one. I mean, it's a home fixture as well.
Mm.
Has Mbumo blanked in a home fixture? I'm not sure. He's had a
Ooh.
really good track record.
In general, Brentford are very good at home.
Yeah, and
But
Wissa too.
yeah,
So
whether
yeah,
he has blanked at home, now
I
I
feel
have to
like he's
look
had a goal or an
against
assist.
Chelsea in Game
Okay.
Week 31. There was a 0-0 draw.
Yeah. Okay.
They
Fair
lost
enough.
against Aston Villa. I guess I had to look at like some of the weaker teams.
Yeah.
Against Spurs, they drew. They lost actually at home.
Oh gosh.
So maybe there have been a few.
Yeah. Fair
Um,
enough.
but I mean, it's still a pretty decent option to have this week.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. If you're not going Salah, I think that's going to be like still, despite sort of having, I think, 5 blanks in the last
Mm.
sort of 7 or 8 games or something like that. Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of managers that go there, but I think Brian Mbumo is probably a decent shout as well. If you're not going to bring in a Palmer, if you're not going to bring in a Watkins, if you don't want to go Watkins, I don't know where else could you go? Like Vardy, against that Ipswich fixture, bring in and captain Vardy maybe. But yeah, there's not many others. I mean, if you've got Haaland, you might want to go Haaland, right? There's so many
Yeah,
managers that brought in Haaland after the leaks of Haaland starting.
probably have to maybe starting this
Mm,
week. Captain him, yeah, maybe potentially. I don't
maybe,
know. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, Mbumo is a good shout. I still
Yep.
think. I really hope Wissa gets some returns. I think Annie just mentioned that Wissa owners got really unlucky. Yeah, we did.
I
It's
hope for some
awful.
returns. So we will see. From Fulham, honestly, they still have something to play for in terms of like Europe, maybe possible. It's getting a bit more harder to be honest.
Mm,
Raul Jimenez though, still a pretty decent own, but at this moment, I don't know if I'll go and get any Fulham players.
no, no, not at all. I mean, like Impulse just said that they're crumbling at the moment.
Mm,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no idea. Like, I think there'll be definitely goals in that one.
yeah,
I don't know if Brentford will keep Fulham out. I can see it being a 3-1 or something like
yeah,
that.
that's what like Jimenez goal.
Yeah,
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 that's basically.
exactly. Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. Um, Leicester versus Ipswich. Now you've been mentioning Jamie Vardy a bit.
Yeah, I
Um,
reckon, he's on his I think he'll if he scores, I mean that's the
it's
only
like
home fixture, last home fixture for Vardy. Narratives again we're sort of, playing on a little bit, but I think he's approaching 150 goals in the Prem as well. So
and was it
yeah,
200 for Leicester overall or something like that? I
yeah,
don't
something
remember.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, which
So
is insane.
yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, just based on narratives, Ipswich. Yeah, I think again, we can expect goals in this one as well. Leicester haven't been scoring many goals until the last 2 game weeks, so yeah, they're back on it again. But yeah, I definitely see Vardy getting a goal here, a return here. Yeah,
yeah, and then
a
Liam Delap.
punty punt.
Yeah, Liam Delap on the other side as well. Not a bad. Again, another punty punt. Um, Marcus is saying Bilal El Khanous,
Oh yeah,
Leicester
yeah.
midfielder. He's got 2
Why
assists
not?
in his last 2 games.
Yeah, why not?
Maybe. Yeah. You're looking for punts. this
Yeah,
might
do it.
this might be a game with a lot of goals. You never know.
Yeah, well, Marcus is known to make some wild transfers in. Didn't he captain what's that guy's name? Beard, Southampton. He was playing for Southampton last season or something. I've forgotten his name. Um
You can
oh,
let us know in the chat.
I've forgotten his name. Yeah, he'll mention it in the chat, I'm
Yep.
sure. But I think he was like top 10K or 5K or something like that, and he put his captaincy on. Yeah,
I'm trying to now see who he captained in the last couple of weeks, but I can't find it. So yeah. Anyways, but
yeah,
like yeah,
brilliant.
I mean there are a couple options here. It's just again punts to be
Yeah.
honest.
That's it.
Brereton
Sheffield
Diaz. There you
United,
go.
not Southampton.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
Brereton Diaz. Yeah,
yep.
there
There
you
you
go.
go. So I mean punts available again, but they are punts. So keep in mind, whoever you buy, it's only one game week. You're probably not playing them next week.
Absolutely. And I think this is where the mentality, and we touched on this earlier, but the mentality changes with the last couple of game weeks of the season, right? Where you're just going for the final sort of push. It's like you're running a race and somehow you conjure up, a tiny bit of energy to just get to the finishing line. And you almost have to, right? You're either in a position where you're like, okay, it's not that bad, but I'm just going to do whatever it takes, and it can't get much worse as well. So, yeah, just push on. But it's a really good fixture for some action from Vardy,
Yep.
Vardy party
Yep,
time. I
indeed.
think.
We'll see how they play. Apart from that, Arsenal Newcastle. Arsenal, their party has been ending on a downward slope. If Newcastle do win this, I think Newcastle could go second.
Second.
Yep.
Yeah, looks
And-
like it. Yeah.
And could put Arsenal in even more trouble on the final day. I still think Arsenal will get Champions League because City managed to
Yeah.
bottle it. Newcastle also dropped points last week, so
Yeah.
otherwise it would have been way more interesting to see Arsenal sweating it out against Southampton, but that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't start my Arsenal defenders in this one again. If anything, I would start Newcastle defenders maybe for attacking returns. But yeah,
Yeah, it's a really good talking point actually, because I'm on the fence about
okay.
that as well. So I've got double Arsenal defense. I've got Raya, I've got Saliba, and I've also got Livramento, and I'm really tempted to only start one of my Arsenal defense.
Yeah.
So maybe I go Saliba and maybe I go Raya and play Livramento and bench Saliba.
Yep.
But then I'm also tempted to play Sells against West Ham. So yes, I'm trying to work out the right combination there rather than playing double Arsenal defense. I just don't think that there's I mean, it could be 0-0 as well. It could be 0-0. So
Could be. But I feel like in terms of momentum, Newcastle slightly have it a bit more.
Yeah.
At this
I
moment.
mean, absolutely, definitely. And yeah, it feels like for that second spot as well, yeah, there'll be a big sort of pushes there because Newcastle have got Everton in the final fixture, and it's a home fixture for Newcastle. Arsenal are away to Southampton. And yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. I mean, Southampton could just turn up like they did against City in their last home fixture as well. And Arsenal, I mean, maybe they've wrapped up, having Champions League by then anyway. Who knows? Yeah, I don't know. This match doesn't scream that many goals to me, and so
like a 1-0
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, exactly. And Isak has just been a little bit disappointing as well. So, and I've got Jacob Murphy as well. So I'm thinking, do I play Livramento and play Jacob Murphy and rest, Sarr, whilst Palace are playing Wolves? It's tempting to just rest him, or I might regret that because Wolves have been super leaky as well. So, yeah, I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be playing double defense in this fixture unless you think that Newcastle are unable to score.
Yeah.
But yeah, I reckon it's probably going to be 2-1 to Newcastle. I think Arsenal's going to lose this game.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm not against it. I think that's pretty possible, to be honest. Bit annoying that I have to sell Isak to try and get Watkins in if it's going to be like a 2-1 because Isak could be involved. But then again, you have to play the fixture, and Watkins definitely has two better fixtures in the next two compared to Isak, who has to play Arsenal and then Everton as well, which won't be easy, to be honest.
Yeah. Andy's just saying big score game, a Newcastle game, maybe. Both have defenders out. Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. I think historically, maybe, yeah, there's been goals in their clashes, previously, but I don't know. I think both will be a little bit tight on defense just because they don't want to drop points. Neither one of them want to drop points.
Yeah, I mean, if they could take the draw, they'll take the draw as well.
They'll take the draw, exactly. Yeah.
Especially because they will know the results between Forest and West Ham as well, that game. That also has an impact. And they obviously have seen how Villa and Chelsea have also played in terms of Champions League. So if it means that a draw is more doable, then I don't think they might even they'll be happy with the draw. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah, I reckon so. Yeah.
So yeah, tough game. we'll see how it goes. I was interested to get like Trossard for the final day as a differential to Saka, but then he
Yeah,
went off
same.
injured,
Yeah.
so kind of had to now wait and see which like Arsenal player, because I have the triple captaincy chip as well left,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
wanted
You
to
and a bunch of others as well.
yeah.
Yeah. What's your thinking on triple captaincy at the
I was
moment? So you're thinking Trossard potentially if he's okay.
if he's okay. It was mainly for I wanted to keep it for 38 for like again this is back to mini leagues. If I manage to get to 38 in the head to head without getting
Yeah.
knocked out in 37,
Yeah.
then play it on someone in 38. Someone differential is what I wanted ideally. And
Mm.
Trossard kind of fit that bill. But if he's out, means Salah final day. Just about. He's still chasing
Yeah.
that record, isn't he?
He's still chasing the record. I don't know. I really don't know. He's not really been looking that good. I was chatting to FPL Crisis about this, Ashley, about he's still got his triple captaincy as well, and interestingly, he's got Bowen. And so I was like, oh, how about Bowen? Game week 38, they're playing Ipswich, so could be a good triple captaincy option in game week 38. But yeah, I'm not sure. Like, it's tough. I think, yeah, it depends. It really does. Like,
Mm.
it's a really. I'm not sure if I like that chip as much as some of the other chips.
I'll still take it over bench boost.
Oh, definitely. That's probably my least favorite chip. I've never had a good bench boost, but triple captaincy, I'm not sure. Salah, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. We'll see how like
yeah,
37 goes. Maybe like Watkins against Man United. I might do it personally, but yeah,
yeah. I
I
mean,
don't know.
it's
We'll see.
Palace as well, so
Yeah.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, Watkins against United.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Who are Spurs playing? 38. I don't know. Like
Uh,
the aftermath of whoever loses
that's a
the
good.
Europa League. I don't
That's a
know.
good question. Who's Spurs playing in the final fixture?
Like I have no clue what state of mind the players and the team will be in, as well.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
this thing, Spurs are playing Brighton. Okay, I
Oh,
can't really go. Joe Pedro back from his red
Joao
card.
Pedro, damn it. Is he back by then?
I think so,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah,
don't know if he'll
gosh.
start. But like yeah,
Yeah,
um,
Welbeck.
yeah, but yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. I have no clue at this moment who to play it on at this moment. So, but I want to keep it for
Mm.
38. Is kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So we'll see how things go. But yeah, Brighton versus Liverpool.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I'm hoping that we'll, after a loss and then a draw, we will probably spring back to a bit of form in
mm,
this one. Not that, I mean, it's, I can't remember who it was. I think it was the Anfield Wrap, which is a really good, Liverpool podcasters, and, Karen over here and Ash, FPL Crisis. We went to see them live in Sydney, which was, really lovely, at the Cheers Bar. And anyway, they more recently in their podcast mentioned how these are just pre-season matches for Liverpool now, but it feels like we're just on a beach at the moment, and there'll be a bit of rotation. And yeah, I'm not sure. Like we saw Gakpo start in the latest fixture against Arsenal. I just don't know who's going to start, in the lineup, and what that's going to look like. And it's obviously impacting Salah's output as well. I mean, he had a few chances. I'm not sure if we can base like what this fixture is going to be like on the Arsenal fixture and the Chelsea fixture. I think they've always been slightly challenging fixtures for Liverpool. And we've obviously won the league already as well, so it's just an extra sort of dimension of being on the beach a little bit. But yeah, I reckon there'll be it's an easy win for it should be an easy win for Liverpool, but Brighton have beaten us before as well, so yeah, I'm not sure. But I don't know if Brighton's got, I mean, João Pedro's not back. I don't know if they've got the I guess the attack that against the Liverpool defense at the moment to kind of take us out like that. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to expect from this match. But I think Salah's a really good pick though for captaincy.
Joe Pedro should be back for this game, I think. His
Oh,
suspension
really?
is
Okay.
over he served his 3-match suspension. So he should be
Yeah.
he's no longer flagged. So he might be back for this game.
Mm.
I mean, it's going to be a very interesting game because regardless, I'm just going to scout again, like I said, who's playing Spurs? it might be a game to kind of scout and see how Brighton also do.
Yeah.
Like I said, my bus team captain was initially on Salah on this fixture because I just couldn't find some other decent captains, to be honest.
Yeah.
Liverpool started well against Arsenal, like
Yeah.
2 quick goals. Diaz obviously been playing really well this entire season.
Yeah, definitely.
And he got some returns. I saw a few people have got Connor Bradley in their team. They went and got him after like Stott said that he's going to start. Obviously,
Yep.
he'll probably start this one as well, most likely.
Yeah, I think so. I can't see Trent getting that many minutes now, and it's an away fixture. I can't imagine Trent even coming on for this game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Connor Bradley. I know that there's loads of managers that have Virgil, and they have Konate in their side as well, just to have that one Liverpool defender. But yeah, I would definitely start them against Brighton. I'm not sure. Like I think it could just be a rotation, just kind of get some of the other players out. I'm surprised that Slot's not played. I mean, I know like he's not a fan. It doesn't seem like he's a fan of Chiesa, but I can imagine Chiesa getting some minutes. Curtis Jones looks really good as well. McAllister didn't start that game. So yeah, I'm just expecting rotation in it. And so, yeah, Darwin Nunez might start this match. Who knows?
I saw some rumor about if he starts one more game, they had to pay.
Oh, of course.
So which is why he's probably not starting any, but like, yeah.
Yeah, probably not then in that case. Yeah, I mean, Liverpool are a bit stingy, so
have to save every penny for now.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Need it for the transfer window.
Yep.
To get some big players in. Yeah.
But like Salah, we'll see how he does. I don't know why. Like he's just gone on. Like after contract signing, he's just gone. Whoop. I think.
Yeah, but he's like I say, like he's still trying to break records, and he's close as well. I think he's like 2 assists from KDB's record for the most assists in a season. So yeah, I don't see why he wouldn't be pushing for it. I think it's just momentum as well, and you got to think about the players around him as well. And yeah, it's tricky. So, but I think there could be some returns in this one. So, I think it would, I think around where I am, like in the top sort of 20K, let's say. I can't imagine many engaged managers going for Salah in this one when there's other really good options as well. I mean, we say other really good options, but there are some outside picks as well that you can go for, not rather than the obvious, perma captain Salah. Yeah.
Yep, fair enough. All right, we'll see how this game unfolds. Now, post FA Cup games, Crystal Palace versus Wolves. Trying to predict both Crystal Palace versus Wolves and City versus Bournemouth is going to be a bit more harder. We don't know which players will start per se.
Yeah.
Obviously, both final home games for these two teams for this season. One team could be on a hangover. The other team just could be like, that's it.
We're done.
Yeah. So it's going to be a bit hard to predict. I think if you have your players, you just play them and hope for the best. Kind of what I would say.
I think so. Like I'm, I think it feels like everyone's got Munoz in their team as well. So you play Munoz against Wolves, although I've got Cunha as well. I'm not sure. Like I can see a return there. I can see an attacking return there. May not be a clean sheet. Although, Wolves at home didn't score against Brighton. So yeah, it's a tricky one, I think. Like if Palace win the FA Cup, then yeah, I can see them being hungover and just not really turning up.
City still need Champions League football. I should mention that, but like
that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so they might not go as strong in that fixture. Yeah.
Assuming if they win, that is. But we don't know. We'll see.
That's a really good point, because where are City sitting at the moment?
They are currently 4th. They're on the same points, if I'm not mistaken, as Newcastle. No, they're 1 point behind Newcastle.
1 point behind Newcastle, and only 2 points ahead of Chelsea
and Aston Villa, both.
And Aston Villa. Yeah. Oh, that's going to be really interesting. So they have to win that game as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they might still have to like kind of take it a bit more seriously.
Yeah, I think so. So that's a must-win game against Bournemouth. So let's say in the scenario that City win FA Cup, and they win Bournemouth, they're happy days, right? But
Yep.
they're not in the best shape at the moment either. So they win FA Cup, lose Bournemouth, and then Villa's probably going to win. Chelsea may win as well. So
Mm.
they could be sitting in sixth position
Yes. And then
potentially.
final day, you don't want to be in that situation because final day, then it's not in your control.
No.
Yep. So
No.
because finally, like we said, Villa play United. That's another 3-point. And Chelsea. Who do Chelsea play? Final day, Chelsea play Forest. that might be another Champions League.
Yeah.
Head-to-head.
I can see Palace getting in a sneaky win against City in the FA Cup,
Yes.
though.
They've been on pretty good form recently.
Yeah.
So I think that's
my
possible.
money's on them. So yeah, I'm also thinking about benching Sarr. So yeah.
I'm thinking of benching Mateta at this point and playing Sa instead as a 3-5-2.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
Mainly because Mateta, as he's shown, doesn't get past like at least 65 to 70 minutes because Nketiah comes on. Whereas Ismail Sarr at least tends to get slightly more than that in terms of minutes.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons at the moment why I'm looking at benching him. If I could sell him, I would sell him, but unfortunately,
I know. Yeah, there's. This is it. This is where you need to bank. You know, if you've got more than 2 transfers, or at least 1 transfer going into this game week, then well done. Getting that far.
From Wolves' point of view, obviously Cunha is still not too bad, to be honest, as a player. He's very well capable of a double-digit return.
I saw a couple of people in the chat. I think Cole mentioned if Cunha starts. I think at some point when it caught my eye, and I was like, no, don't say that. But yeah, I brought Cunha in for a hit last game week, and he's been on really good form. So I can see Cunha getting a return here. I mostly went for Cunha as well over Wood at the time, and obviously hindsight would have gone Wood. But I went Cunha because he's a bonus points magnet as well. And so Cunha just needs to, I don't know, like do something, take a couple of shots and he's on 3 bonus points or something. So yeah, I think this could be a really fun game. Yeah.
We'll see
I reckon Wolves win.
Oh, possible. Especially if Palace win the FA Cup, party. They have nothing to worry. They've already qualified for Europe as well through that. So
that's right. Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see how it goes. From Bournemouth against City. Bournemouth obviously not this week, but next week they have a pretty good fixture in 38. So I think if you have Bournemouth assets, you still keep them for that 38 fixture.
Yeah.
But if you're looking to buy, not this week.
No, no, this is not the week for it. But I noticed my mini league rival went for Eva Nilsson in the previous fixture, which is a real shame because there should have been some returns for Bournemouth in that one against Villa. Given that they were playing, it was a home fixture as well. But the final fixture for Bournemouth, who's Bournemouth playing? I think it's
I think it was
Ipswich, yeah.
Yes. Oh no, they're playing Leicester.
Leicester, yeah. Okay, so
that's a
really good. Yeah, that's a really good fixture. I think you're waiting a week, but I can see why managers went early, and so my mini league rivals got Pedro at the moment and Eva Nilsson, and along with Isak, I think, up in the front line. So we've got very different teams now, and so it's going to be. It's going to be interesting how it turns out.
Yep, indeed.
But yeah, Bournemouth. I don't know. Like, where do you even go though? Like, if we just talk about the Bournemouth mids, where would you even go?
I don't know if I would go Bournemouth mids. Like, Clivert got the bench in as well. I think it's not worth it because you have other mids that we've just spoken about that are at this moment better. And even if in 38. If you were to talk midfielders, Arsenal would be up there with Saka, maybe Trossard as well potentially. I don't know if we would like Bowen against Ipswich. I don't know if you would be looking at Bournemouth mids.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know I just can't think where you'd go. Like Clivert was on the bench, and so does he start in that final? Yeah, maybe no idea what's going on there. Semenyo he's obviously taking a lot of shots, so could be good. Dango, do you remember that time when everyone went Dango?
But he's out, I think,
He's
Tango,
out.
for the rest of the
Yeah.
season. So
I mean, who else is there?
yeah, Tavernier.
Tavernier, yeah.
But like,
No, you got to go Evan Nilsson,
yeah,
right? Like, who's
yeah.
on pens? Is it Clivert?
It should be Clivert if Clivert starts. Otherwise, it's Evan Nilsson.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So Evan Nilsson's the only real option.
Yep.
Yeah, if you're making a forward transfer there. But yeah, I mean, he could nick a goal against City.
He could. So for anyone who has him now, I would play him definitely.
Yeah.
Even though I'm looking at starting double City defense, I would still play him. Yes.
Yeah, it could be another 0-0 as well. Who knows?
But yeah, honestly, not a bad player to have. Differential.
Yeah.
Definitely differential.
And I reckon for that final fixture, triple captaincy isn't a bad shout as well on Evan Nilsson.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, in game week 38. Yeah.
It's just the explosive potential. I'm trying to wait between him and some Arsenal player and somewhere else. So,
but which Arsenal player, right? Like, if you don't go Saka, if you don't go Saka, who's the explosive? I think Trossard has it in him.
Yes.
And he I think he got a brace recently, didn't he? Like a couple of game weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Trossard. So if Trossard is out, would you go Martinelli? Like, would you bring? Actually, would you transfer in Martinelli?
No, I'd rather transfer in Saka.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's the thing. I wouldn't transfer.
The triple captaincy on Saka. Then, yeah.
So, that or even like Bowen against. But then West Ham, really, I'm not gonna trust West Ham to like score many goals per se. I probably wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I think you're looking at maybe a goal 9-pointer or something like that. You know, Bowen goal.
I want at least a brace.
Bonus.
Yeah. So I'm searching for a brace. Any team with that has like a player that can give brace. So we'll see. I don't know, but yeah.
When was the last time Saka scored a goal in the Prem?
You should. The more important question is, when was the last time Saka played 90 minutes for Arsenal?
That's also true.
And I saw a stat of this. The last time Saka played 90 minutes for Arsenal was in game week 16 against Everton.
Okay.
Yeah.
When was his last return?
When
a goal.
Was his last return?
Not return. Like, I think he got an assist, and he.
No, when was his last return was in Fulham.
Yeah.
That was the goal as well in game week 13.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know.
It's hard. I think it's hard. Like, as we're sort of drawing to that close of the season, it's getting harder. I reckon. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the fixtures. We spoke about the captaincy as well. Right now, looks like Ollie Watkins.
Yeah, you just making one move?
At this moment, yes. I think I'll play one move. I have to see who I play head to head this week. I think I didn't know. I checked in the afternoon. FPL hadn't updated the head to head opponents yet. So I'll have a look at who I'm playing head to head, who they have in their teams, and then decide if I really wanted to take a hit. I'm kind of feeling better against Southampton.
Ooh.
For like Goodison Park. I remember like I owned Anthony Gordon on the final day when he was an Everton lad in like game week 38. That was really good because he returned as well.
Yeah. I think in your position, Ryan, you've got to take a couple of chances.
Yeah. So if it's not better,
Vardy, do it.
I trust Everton more than I trust Leicester. Personally, if anything, I'd just go and get bored.
Vardy will just take the referee's, whistle and do his own thing. He'll grab the cards as well, and just dish out red cards.
If anything, I'll just go and get Bowen instead. But no, that's just not differential enough. I don't know. I'll see. I'll have a look and see. Think about it. But yeah, at this moment, Watkins for sure.
Watkins for sure. Yeah. And how many points do you need to stay in the Australian elite?
I can't look at like the league is not. It's purely head to head.
Yeah. Okay.
If I look at the league, I'm like 70 points behind. That's that's impossible. So I'm doing a Man United here. It's all or nothing on the cup. It's all or nothing in the cup.
Yeah.
Basically. So whoever's facing me, please take some hits. I would greatly appreciate that.
Oh dear, yeah, that's right.
Uh,
Because you can stay in the league if you win the cup.
yes, indeed.
Oh, that's
So
so funny. I didn't even I
here
have
we
no
are.
idea. I think I'm out of all of the cups at the moment. Yeah, I'm out of all of the cups. Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Last couple of game weeks have destroyed me.
we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I think I was even in your league in terms of cups. I think I got knocked out recently.
That's true. Oh.
I remember I knocked out Combe before I probably got knocked out myself potentially.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this week, well, I got knocked out in game week 32, in my own league.
Oh yeah, 35. I got knocked
By
out.
FPL USA Brian,
Ah, there
who's
you go.
having a wonderful season in
Yep.
top 1K. So I don't mind that.
Yeah, fair enough. Strong
Fair
opponent to
enough.
get knocked against. Yep. All right, so I'm get to teams, and I'll read a few questions as well from the chat.
Yep.
Obviously, this was the projected goals for between 36, 38. We're looking at obviously 37, which is the middle row for any teams.
Yep.
Which is why Chelsea, City were high here. Aston Villa were the highest in 2.4. This was before game week 36, so markets would have switched, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else to add on this? Or
Ah, don't believe what you see for City.
yeah,
Because
fair enough.
3 goals against
Oh
Southampton.
yeah. I don't know what the markets were thinking.
Yeah,
Clearly.
well, yeah, and this is it. You take it with a pinch of salt as well,
Yeah.
and this is where I think it's probably important to kind of mention that this is where you're relying on eye test, and
Yeah.
you're relying on how they're playing on the field, and what else is going on for that team. But yeah, I think the market odds are really useful, but as a bit of a heat map, but not really accurate at the moment. Anything's possible towards the end of the season.
Yep. Fair enough. Assistant manager. Now, obviously, I did mention Potter. They're at 9.2.
Yeah.
Because of the table bonus possibility. Ursula, Brighton against Liverpool.
Yeah, don't mind it. Yeah, we're on the beach.
Mm.
Shades on, pina coladas out.
Even a draw is decent points for table bonus.
Yeah, it is, isn't
Yeah.
it? But I think I really like the Potter shout.
Yeah, there could be something
Yeah.
in there potentially.
Yeah, I think Forest need to win that match. They'll be going for it, but I just think I think West Ham have got a bit of momentum as well.
And then it's Ipswich on the final week, so you don't need to switch managers as well after that. So you can just keep it with Potter. Anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's a really good opportunity. I had to recently remind my mini leagues, like the slightly casual mini leagues that I'm in. You should kind of play your assistant manager chip. You've got 4 chips and you can't play them all.
Yeah, exactly. And you play the assistant manager, you can't play any other chip.
No, exactly, as we learned.
Yep. So yeah. So for anyone who still has that chip available. Meera, your team. I'll read it out for those obviously listening on the audio. Cells in goal, Guardiola, Munoz with 11-pointer, Livramento, KDB, Salah, Ismail Sarr, Mbuemo with the armband, Wissa, Cunha, and Isak. And on the bench you had Rea, Murphy, Murillo, who's flagged, and Saliba.
Yeah, I think going into game week 37, I'm currently thinking benching Saliba, playing Livramento, playing Raya at the moment for the save points. I think Souls will probably concede a goal against West Ham, so yeah, not really feeling that. Murillo is probably going to be out. He's got a hamstring injury. I just can't see him playing. So yeah, I reckon it will probably be the same back 3 that I'm playing, that I've got on the screen there. So Guardiola, Munoz, and Livramento, and at the moment probably the same midfield as it stands as well. And at the moment I'm thinking about Isak out for Watkins for game week 37, and captaincy I'm not 100% sure, but if I'm only going to go with one Villa player, and I feel like I'm the only one at the moment who's only got one Villa player, or no Villa players at the moment, I may need to captain Watkins, but it is the early fixture, and the last time I did that was on Marmoush just a couple of game weeks ago, so I'm not sure. if
Fair
I
enough.
feel brave enough to do that again. And it's a morning match as well again. So
Yeah.
morning for us over here in Australia
You
anyway.
get up, look at the FPL app. Oh no, why did I do this?
I
Basically.
know, I know, and that's the thing. Like, I'm thankfully the last couple of game weeks, it's not been ruining my weekends
Oh, okay.
with the. Yeah, I'm just at that point where I'm like, it's okay,
Yeah.
and I'm ready for the season to be over and reset over the winter or summer.
Yeah. Fair enough. Depending on whichever region you're in.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so that's Meera's team. This is mine. So Martinez in goal, Munoz, Ruben Diaz, Guardiola. And then I had KDB, Salah, Rogers, Embuemo, Wissa, Isak, and Mateta up front. On the bench, I had Rea, Ismail Sarr, Murillo, and Saliba. So I'm going to potentially start that same backline with the double city defense, Martinez in goal, and Munoz as the third defender. I will have obviously Saliba as the first defensive sub because Murillo is most likely not going to make it. Midfield will stay the same. See, this is why I was thinking only Isak to Watkins. And I'll start Ismail Sarr and bench Mateta.
Yeah.
And this is where if I was to take a hit, it's Mateta out for someone. I don't think I can go Ismail Sarr to someone because like the options from Ismail Sarr to someone, there aren't that many budget like midfielders that could go for.
No, unless you want to go Sade. It's like 5.2.
Yeah, that's true. That's possible as well. I
Yeah.
should also probably consider how much, if I was to go and get Saka, what my route to Saka will be like as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. How much is Neto?
Ooh, from Chelsea. Good question. Neto is 6.1. No, so that's more
Can
than
you get
Ismail
to?
Sarr.
No. Freddie's just said Sarr to Enzo. Yeah, Enzo, maybe.
I'd rather
What's
go
your?
Shard.
Yeah, just not sort of make that extra transfer. That's
anything,
the
I'd rather go
thing.
Beto than
Yeah.
than Enzo at this point.
Yeah.
Personally.
Wow. Enzo or Vardy?
Yeah, maybe Vardy or Beto is better. Or Shard.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I just don't. I don't have enough confidence in Chelsea attacking wise at this point. Even though they're playing Man United and Man United might play the kids, I still don't have enough. You need to have. This is the last few weeks. The reason I've been doing okay is because I've picked players I've had confidence in terms of like as FPL potential. I don't have that confidence with like Enzo.
Yeah, no, I have to agree.
Yeah.
I have to agree. I think really from Chelsea, if you're going to go there, it's probably Palmer or not.
And I
Yeah.
can't get to Palmer unless I take
No.
KDB, which I'm not doing.
Yeah, which you're not going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that sounds sensible. But I guess as a forward option, if you don't go Watkins, where do you go? Because you've already got Rodgers.
Yeah, so I'll triple up. I'll end up tripling up on Aston Villa.
Yeah.
So if I don't go Watkins, that's where like, so again, this is where the whole like Beto thought came into play. That's one option.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Wood is still possible, but I don't like. Forest have been on a bit of low energy. I'm like, I'll try and go against that. Is what I'm thinking. Joe Pedro against Liverpool, but maybe tough fixture. Maybe not this week.
Yeah, maybe no, probably not this week. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't think that there's that many options. I mean, obviously, I went Cunha last week. I still think he's a good pick for the last two matches, in general. Like, he's just able to get some goals there, hopefully. Fingers crossed anyway. But yeah, I just don't know where else you can go. There's Watkins. You're right. Beto, Vardy, maybe. But I know you're not keen on Vardy, but Beto.
Yeah. I mean, Vardy's okay, but like, I'm not keen on Leicester as a team.
Yeah.
But forwards haven't been doing too well recently as well. That's the other thing. So I'd rather look at a midfielder maybe if I can. Which is why I was like, I might as well just start Sarr then. Because anyone I bring in will have to score more than 6 points because I had to account for the hit and the 2 minutes or 2 points from the plane as well.
I agree. I think benching Mateta definitely. Like, it's a shame you can't go Mateta to Watkins.
Oh, that would have been a straight. If I could have done that, if I didn't go and get KDB, I should have thought about it. I think at the heat of the moment, I was trying to deal with Marmoush League and answering people's questions and trying to focus on my team. This is what deadline stream chaos is when leagues come.
Yeah. And I feel like everything is going against it. Like there's, so Andy and Impulse in the chat around Watkins, and it's a really tough one because it's an early fixture, and Watkins will probably be the most transferred in as well, I imagine, this game week.
Yeah.
Or actually, yeah, we could probably see like round transfers already. There would have been a lot of transfers coming in, straight after the game week ended. But yeah, I can imagine him being the most transferred in. It depends what FPL Olympian actually tweets as well,
please,
right?
do not pick Watkins. Go and
It's
pick
gonna be
someone
Watkins.
else.
It's gonna be Watkins. That's enough to put me off.
He went and even Captain Haaland with the league. I was like, here goes the Haaland. And Marmoush came on and had more XG than Haaland did in 90 minutes.
I know, it's insane. It's so funny.
Oh, please.
But yeah, you could just expect his jet ski,
Yeah.
meme coming out.
if a pill Olympian puts the armband on Watkins, I'm just gonna go and get better. I'm just gonna get better. Yeah. But right now, most transferred in is actually Watkins.
Yeah.
There's the
I'm
most
not
transferred in curse
surprised.
as well.
Yeah, well, this is what I mean.
Yeah.
There's two things riding against him, right? There's
Oh my
the
goodness.
early fixture, most transferred in curse. What else?
I don't know.
Gandhi's going to be at, he's going to be on it.
Yeah. We'll see. Maybe I just Captain Morgan Rogers, and just bring in like Watkins still.
Yeah, well, it's not a bad shout. It's not a bad shout. In fact, yeah, I was thinking if I don't go Watkins, leave Isak in the team, do I just bring in Rodgers? That will be a super defensive pick. But if I bring in Rodgers, I have to captain Rodgers. How do I feel about captaining Rodgers, who's probably not on pens as well? And
yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, but I think the pens thing is a bit overrated as well this
With
season.
Aston Villa, I probably wouldn't. Like we've seen Asensio take pens, and I don't want
Yeah, God, don't. Too soon.
Yeah, exactly.
Too soon.
Yeah. So I mean,
Tielemans, was taking pens as well. So I think it's just been spread around, right?
Yep, indeed. And they don't get too many pens as well. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Should be an interesting game week actually. And I think there is opportunity for differentials this week. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
I think so. I think now that the perma cap kind of shouts have gone, and it's been like that for quite some time, right? Like it's not obvious where to go. I think this week or game week 36 was a really good example of that, right? Where despite sort of Mbeumo getting a return there, but Wood was a really good captaincy pick, and Eze was a really good captaincy pick. And so, yeah, it just goes to show that there's 2 more game weeks to go. I think getting captaincy right is really important. Where we go with the captaincy, it's going to be really interesting, I reckon.
I'm just going to quickly read on some questions as well.
Yeah.
From the chat, because I've been focusing on trying to get questions out of you, and also then you've been focusing on the chat as well. So Andy says Villa always get 2 against Spurs, so he's expecting like a 2-1. Curran is also considering better. Curran has actually done pretty well in terms of hits.
Just going for crazy picks.
I know, and it's been paying off. So he's been doing really well in terms of the hits. FPL Impulse, Watkins is the absolutely obvious pick against a rotated poor Spurs side. Yep, indeed. Freddy says Sa to Enzo. Don't trust Enzo, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Who else? Anyone else with quick questions? FPL have a beer. Welcome. Nothing else. Anything else do you see? I don't see.
No.
I think chat has
Where has all the Palmer love gone this week from
Where has all the Palmer
Gary?
We gave a tiny bit of Palmer love.
Tiny bit.
But
tiniest amount.
Not enough to like go and buy him in kind of. I think anyone who's still an analytics manager look at FPL Review. Is FPL Review actually put Palmer at the top? I need to have a look at this.
Well, I don't know if FPL Review has been updated, because at one point it was suggesting Jackson to me, and I was like,
Yeah, that I've seen that before, like where it doesn't update.
Give it another
in time.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Palmer is top, 6.5 in the free model. I don't have the paid version, but free model Palmer is on top at 6.5. Saka is actually second.
Saka is second. Oh
Mm.
wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't. I don't mind it. In terms of the potential is there, and this is the thing. I feel like that this, like we mentioned at this point in the season, I think it's less about the data now and more about how they're actually performing and playing the form and eye test, and these things are probably a bit more important than what the data is suggesting, because form is dipping. And I think review does factor that in, but I don't know how much, and it's all
I don't know
very relative.
how much of the field, like actual eye test, it kind of considers, and how much of like numbers it takes.
Like Palmer should be a lot lower. I mean, his returns have been pretty bad, right? Like his form's really dipped. So you'd think that would be lower.
Yeah, that's the thing. So we'll see. But I don't know the back end of review too much to be able to understand like exactly how they do their calculations. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't either. But yeah, it's really interesting. But yeah, I like I say, at this point of the season, I really don't think it's as important to look at the numbers, as much. I mean, it's a really good heat map of where the fixtures are, and who's playing well, in terms of attack or defensively. But yeah, I think this is really now about what your gut feel says for the last couple of game weeks, and I think if you got chips like assistant manager or triple captaincy, then there are some good options there. There's some fun picks there. They're not your typical game week, double game week ones, or on Salah or on Haaland. Like I played my triple captaincy in game week 2, so I've not had to worry about that.
I'll take that now.
Yeah,
should have just played it on Salah in like game week when they had the double. To be honest,
exactly.
The FPL Impulse has a question: is it even worth using transfers on defenders at this point when they're so limited? Probably not. But then
depends how.
Yeah, like what's your backline like? Depends. Is it like really bad?
The Arsenal and Newcastle fixture is a tricky one, right? Because most managers will have double from each, not defense as such, but they may have attack, or they've got double Arsenal defense. I think a lot of managers have got double Arsenal defense. They've definitely got a Newcastle defender. There's Isak in there, and then maybe you've got a double, Newcastle defense if you've got Pope in the team. Or you somehow ended up with Trippier and Livramento or something like that. So I think this is a really interesting game week to see what the transfers out are like. Actually, can we look at that really quickly? If you've got it open. What the transfers out saying? Defensive transfers or just transfers out?
Let me switch.
Yeah.
All right. So if you look at transfers out for the round, obviously Sales has been sold. Robinson, Trippier, Kirkes. I don't know why people are selling Kirkes. Forest defense is mainly the culprits that have been sold.
Oh, I think your pop-up, if it's the pop-up, it's not showing on the.
On the stream. Oh yeah, it's not showing on stream. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I was sharing it with you and not the stream. Let's actually switch that. There we go. Stream also can see it now. So Forest defense are the ones who are mainly being sold as things stand.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
In terms of attack, you can see the Newcastle lads. Salah as well. Bruno Fernandes. Marmoush. This might be deadline as well.
Yeah. True. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll have to check back on that in a couple of days or something. But yeah, we've got an early morning deadline, haven't we?
We do, which is why we'll have to see what happens. Obviously, no football in the midweek as well.
3 a.m.
So we kind of have to think, and see how we go in terms of
that's it.
What we want in terms of players and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Definitely going to be interesting. But yeah, I reckon it'll be tough, like depending on who the other players are that you have. In defense, because like me, if you've got double Arsenal defence, you've got Livramento or Trippier or Burn, or like a lot of managers who've got Dan Burn in their side, and well done to you guys for that 11-pointer. But yeah, I think it's a really tricky fixture to own, at the moment. So yeah, probably not. I don't think you should be making defensive transfers unless you got real problems with it. Although I was eyeing up a -4 for a defensive transfer. So but that's mainly because I have no Villa players, right?
Okay. If you're doing like a Martinez goalkeeper transfer, I can understand that. Because I saw I was watching Above Average today morning, and I saw Adam.
Yeah.
He looked at his team, and like he had nothing to do outfield, so he was thinking of a goalkeeper transfer. So that, yeah, I could understand it, because like Martinez, if he keeps a clean sheet, bonus point. He's been getting a couple of bonus points in the last couple of weeks as well. So it's a possibility, but like
Yeah.
All right. I think that's basically all we got. Karan is trying to do an FPL meetup.
I know he is, and I'm thinking, I don't know how I do this. It's on a Sunday night, I think, that fixture.
Yep.
It's not very. It's been. He's taken the day off. Damn it.
Of course. We can't do the same, Karan, unfortunately.
I don't think I can. Yeah, he's probably going to twist my arm somehow.
Yep. So while he tries to do that, I will look at the end of the stream. But thank you to everyone, and Meera, thank you to you as well for joining. Obviously, make sure to go follow her on FPL Miz YouTube. Anything else like plugs? Go ahead, Meera.
Oh no, just a plug in for your channel. So congratulations again on 1,000 subscribers, and yeah, please do hit like and subscribe, and yeah, come and find me on my channel as well. I was hoping to get to 1,000 subscribers this season, but it's okay. Yeah, I'm not too not too worried about that for this season. It's been a tricky season all round for me, but yeah, looking forward to the next season already.
Yep, indeed. And Karan is telling me to come along as well. I do not want to see Liverpool lift a trophy, to be honest.
It's done. It's done.
Plus, it's a Sunday night. I'll watch along here with the chat. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. And once again, shout out to Meera, and hopefully you can get that top 10K finish as well.
Thank you.
And I'll see you all probably on a Wednesday for a team selection stream for anyone else who's interested. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and see you all later.